Senator Leila is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman, at magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat muli, my dear colleagues and also our dear resource speakers. Dahil sa reminder ng ating chair na medyo kapos na tayo sa oras, marami po sana akong punto na dapat talakayin, particularly the specific nuances sa bills. But I realize that perhaps the discussion of the nuances on the pending bills can be deferred to future proceedings of this committee at the committee level or even at a plenary. Pero sa ngayon po, I just want to take advantage also of the presence of our resource speakers. Wala ko ditong kadeba-debate tungkol sa problema ng droga. Wala akong nagdedebate sa ating mga otoridad na ganun nakalala ang problema sa droga. And therefore, there is an urgency and imperative need to address the drug menace in this country. Unang punto po, and I'm not sure who's going to answer this, perhaps si Director General De La Rosa po pwedeng sumagot. Alam niyo po, madalas natin naririnig mga ilang personalidad at kahit nga ho sa mga interview rin ko rin po sa media na para bang ang sinisisi ng buong problema ngayon sa droga, yung paglala ng problema sa droga, ay yung alleged kapabayaan ng dating administrasyon. Yan po ba ang tunay na sentimiento ng ating mga law enforcement agencies? Kasi alam ko naman po na lahat kayo, karamihan sa inyo ay nandyan na sa sari-sarili niyong opisina o institusyon. Yan po ba ang impression, ang sentimiento ng current dispensation na walang ginawa at naging pabaya ang dating administrasyon? I just feel the need to raise this matter kasi alam niyo naman po lahat na kasama ako sa dating administrasyon. Ganun po ba yon, Director De La Rosa?
Your Honor, actually the primary reason why nagkaganito ito lahat, hindi ko masabi na nagpabaya yung previous administration. But this I can tell you frankly, honestly, with all honesty, na nagkaganito ito ngayon dahil the police feels emboldened to do their job. We are more encouraged, we are more motivated to do our job because we have a president that is determined to stop the drug menace. Kaya po, na-unearth po ito lahat ngayon, nagkaalaman na ganito na pala kalala ang sitwasyon ng droga nang nagtrabaho na ng husto ang polis. Hindi po namin sinasabi, I myself is a part of the previous administration dahil polis na ako. Noong panahon ninyo, sasabi mo, polis na ako noon, alam ko, nag-ooperate rin ako ng drugs, but hindi po ganun ka masigasig yung ginagawa namin dahil in the police parlance, we call it, buntot mo, hila mo. Ikaw, police ka noon, magpahiro-hiro ka, pag-operate ka, nabangga mo yung sindikato, ang drug lord pala, yung gobernur, yung mayor, then, relieve ka. Isang tawag lang sa Malacanang. Lalo na kung kapartido nasa Malacanang, yung alaga niya, yung mayor.
Excuse lang po, General De La Rosa, dyan po ako medyo nababahala, katulad yan. I mean, you were, again, I appreciate the candor and your very frank manner of expressing your thoughts. Katulad na naman yan, isang tawag lang sa palasyo at clear na yung kung sino man yan. So, hindi ho pa dapat, my point ho dito is that kasi nga, several naman po ang mga relevant agencies or several naman po ang mga law enforcement authorities natin. Gusto ko pong malaman kung pagpasok nitong bagong administrasyon na ito, humingi ho ba kayo ng talagang mga comprehensive accomplishment reports na nanggagaling sa iba-ibang ahensya? Katulad ng NBI, katulad ng PIDEA, katulad ng Anti-Drug Unit of PNP, ng PAOK. Alam niyo yung PAOK, Presidential Anti-Organized crime,
Yes, Your Honor.
dyan sa kanilang anti-drug campaign din nung nakaraang administrasyon. Kumuha ho ba kayo ng comprehensive report para makita naman po ng ating mga kababayan na marami naman po mga ginawa yang mga ahensya na yan in terms of investigations, in terms of filing cases, in terms of conducting operations, and also in terms of prosecuting. Although, meron po akong itatanong din mamaya sa mga representative from the DOJ. Di ho ba ganon? Ako po mismo, as a former SOJ, alam ko po mismo yung mga operations na ginagawa ng NBI. Marami rin po silang mga operations noon. Hindi lang ho siguro masyadong napapabalita. So did you ever ask for comprehensive accomplishment reports from all of these agencies when you took over, or this administration took over?
Your Honor, honestly, hindi po ako humingi dahil that is beyond my concern already. Tapos na po yun. Ang inaharap ko po ngayon, yung present problema na kinakarap ko, napakalaki ng problema po inaharap ko ngayon. So, bakit pa ako magdidig ng previous records na ang dami kong problema, hindi nga ako makatulog, Your Honor. So,
And we know
2 hours lang po ang tulog ko, 4 hours dahil sa problema ng droga. And yun pa, mag-imbestiga ko sa nangyari before. Anyway, inasabi ko lang po ito na ganito po. Dahil that's coming from the PO1 on the ground, yung mga polis namin sa baba. Pag nag-iikot ako sabihin ng mga polis, sir, salamat po sir, ngayon talaga magtatrabaho na kami dahil may presidente tayo na talagang binabakapan tayo. Kaya ganoon na lang po nakikita natin, naglabasan na lahat.
Wala pong duda doon, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Na dahil nga sa talagang very focused attention of this administration, it seems to be the singular focus, especially of the president now, to battle or to end the drug menace. Kaya nga ho, lahat ito nauungkat na at ganyan ho ang nangyayari. Kasi in compare nga po to the previous administration, hindi naman ho kasi ganon yung naging thrust ng administrasyon, na ang dami naman po talaga mga areas of governance na dapat i-address yung dating administrasyon na hindi naman talaga total focus dyan sa problema ng droga. Pero hindi naman po siguro pwedeng sabihin na nagpabaya o walang ginawa yung dating administrasyon. Di ho ba?
I agree with you, Your Honor. Marami po kayong ginawa noon.
Kasi ngayon, sa singular focus nga ho, sa sobra talaga na passionate na pagtrabaho ninyo, kasama po ang Pangulo, ay ganyan na nga ho ang nangyayari na marami na ho tayong naaalungkat, marami ho tayong nahuhuli, may mga namamatay, but that is another matter. And the difference lang ho kasi with the previous administration, ganun nga ho, wala hong nangyayaring patayan noon na ganyan araw-araw. Wala rin ho yung mga naming and shaming na yan ng dating administrasyon. Yun po ang malaki siguro na diferensya. Pero ang susunod na itatanong pa rin, you don't have to answer it now, it's just a food for thought. Tama ho ba yung approach na yan o yung strategy na yan, yung violent, the so-called violent war against drugs? Pag-uusapan po natin yan sa Lunes. Na-receive nyo na ho ba yung notice nyo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Dadating ho ba kayo?
I would be very happy to face you on Monday, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next point. Okay. Gusto ko ho sanang tanungin ang bawat agencies tungkol sa mga nagawa nila, pero wala ho tayong oras ngayon. Meron lang ho akong tatanungin na isa. I'd like to take advantage of the representatives from the DOJ. Dahil alam niyo po, madalas hong sisihin dyan sa problema ng droga, yung prosecution, yung mga prosecutors. Yes, we admit, mababa ho ang conviction rate noon at siguro hanggang ngayon. So I'd like to give only very briefly, opportunity for DOJ. I think we can ask, is it Senior Deputy State Prosecutor Richard Fadulion? Because, you know, Yusek Erickson is just new, so si Senior Deputy is one of our most competent prosecutors in the DOJ. Now, alam ko po, based on first-hand knowledge na maraming challenges and problema ang ating prosecution. Now, we will ask you to submit a document detailing, outlining exactly those challenges which beset the prosecution kung bakit mababa ang conviction rate pagdating sa drugs. But for the benefit of my colleagues, can you at least cite a few major challenges?
Thank you, Madam Senator. Morning, Mr. Chairman. Well, first of all, one of the major concerns one of the major challenges that the National Prosecution Service encounters in the handling of drug cases are the shortcuts which are adopted by law enforcement, usually in the gathering of evidence. You know, the prosecutors are only as good as the evidence that it is presented to it or submitted to it. So we cannot manufacture evidence. We can only go by the evidence that is submitted to us by the law enforcement. And certainly there are instances when there are provisions of Republic Act 9165 which are very stringent, no? And to which the courts are very strict, which are constantly being violated. I would like to point out violations of Section 21 of RA 9165 on the matter of chain of custody, the matter of inventory. And this is just one of the major reasons why you have a lot of dismissals, you have a lot of acquittals. The other things would be the shortcuts which are adopted, let's say, in the process of applying for and implementing search warrants. So in the course of the service of the search warrants, there are certain requirements which are not complied with, and this results to the quashal of the search warrant, and the quashal would mean that there is no we don't have any strong evidence anymore because the effects, no, the items, the illegal drugs, paraphernalia, the precursors which are seized can no longer be admitted in evidence. These are among the few reasons, no, the legal reasons that the legal challenges that we face. Apart from the fact, Madam Senator, that you're also aware that we have a shortage of prosecutors. If we noticed, the raids that have been conducted recently focused on the National Capital Region, Regions 3 and Regions 4. We have a shortage of prosecutors in Regions 3 and Regions 4 for the simple reason that probably private practice is very lucrative and very few people would like to venture and join government service. So the tendency is dependent, these regions become dependent also on the available resources that they have. If not, probably they will have to be augmented by the task force. And I guess at the end of the day, we would like to point out also that while we face these challenges, we do not allow these challenges to get the best of us. We have worked and we will continue to work closely with the PIDEA, with the Philippine National Police and the NBI and all other drug enforcement agencies to make sure that we can at least improve the manner by which evidence is collected so that we can ensure that we have a higher success rate in our prosecution.
Thank you, SDSP.
With the permission of the Senator. You failed to mention, but I guess one of the factors, no, is corruption in the prosecution service, also a reason for the low conviction rate. Very honestly.
Well, sir, I'll be very candid with you, Mr. Chairman. I will not discount the fact that there may be and there will be bad eggs in every institution, and that will not exclude the National Prosecution Service, sir.
Thank you. Again, because of time constraints, I was just asking you about, you know, the top of mind thoughts about the challenges besetting. But can we ask you to submit to this committee a paper outlining all the challenges that beset the National Prosecution Service? And I was about to actually state that, Mr. Chair, that we're not saying here, and even SDSP Richard here is not saying that the National Prosecution Service is completely faultless. I'm aware of that there are really bad eggs or misfits also within the National Prosecution Service. Ang pinakaklarado ko kasing obserbasyon is that kapag may mga nadidismiss na mga kaso na droga, ay nagtuturuan palagi ang prosecutors tsaka yung mga investigador. So minsan even at my level, hindi ko na alam kung sino ang sinisisi o dapat sisihin. So ang ginagawa ko na lang po noon, I just do it on a case-to-case basis, tinitingnan ko na lang saan pwede o sino dito ang may kasalanan o nagkulang kaya it led to the dismissal of the cases or the acquittal of the accused in the drug cases. Let me get to the next point. Or let me go to the next point. Naobserbahan ko rin po noon na sa pag-handle ng mga kaso, halos lahat ng mga high-profile cases, and including drug cases, ay nandyan po ang parang the hesitance, the natural reluctance to share intel reports with each other. Lahat naman ata ng law enforcement authorities may kanya-kanyang intel units, whether it is embedded within the anti-drug unit itself of that particular agency or isang general intel unit ng ahensya na yan. Isa po yan sa very clear na naobserbahan natin na nagkakaselusan by withholding intel reports. There is this turf war always, and inter-agency jealousy to the extent na pahirapan kapag nag-exchange o kailangan mag-exchange ng intel reports. Ang tanong po ngayon sa pamunuan ng PNP at sa iba rin, meron na ho ba kayong ginagawa para i-address yung problema na yun? Kasi malaking bagay po ang intel reports.
Your Honor, every Friday po, meron kaming oversight committee composed of PNP, NBI, PDEA, Dangerous Drugs Board, at pinag-usapan, pati AAP, Your Honor, pati AAP kasama na doon, pinag-usapan namin yung progress ng aming anti-drug campaign at intel exchange, nandun na rin po, Your Honor. Sa ngayon po, sa panahon namin siguro, I don't think problema po yung sinasabi mo na yung isang agency, ang sinishare niya sa kabilang agency, yung basura niya. Yung kami naman, sinishare na sa amin yung basura. But now, hindi na po basura sinishare namin. Puro na po valuable pieces of information. Kami po halos isang team lang. Hindi po wala pong inggitan sa amin. Wala pong interagency competition, jealousy, wala na po rin.
Good to know that.
Yes,
yan
yes,
po ang
Your Honor.
ginagawa niyo. Pero sana mas lalo nating ma-institutionalize yung intel sharing between and among departments. Kaya kung nga ho rinais yan, kasi talaga naman, katulad noon sa NBI, kapag may malaki silang accomplishment, imbis na matuwa yung ibang agencies, hindi ko na lang papangalanan kung ano yung agency or agencies na yan, na minsan, they feel like slighted. I do not understand na merong malaking accomplishment ang ibang department or yung ibang agency. The next point, I'm trying to rush. Tungkol naman ho sa mga pag-address ng mga drug dependents. I was listening intently dun sa mga points ni Senator Riza, and I definitely agree that the authorities should start really looking at this whole problem as more of a public health issue rather than a law enforcement punitive matter. Now, sa tingin ko ho kasi, itong sitwasyon natin ngayon, itong emergency that we're now having on the drug problem, is the capacity of the government to process all drug dependents who are submitting themselves to voluntary rehabilitation. Now, the problem sa tingin ko po, twofold. Una, the process of commitment, and then pangalawa, the lack of government and public rehabilitation facilities. Let's not talk here about the private rehabilitation facilities kasi nga these are, very prohibitive ang pagpapasok sa mga private, although dapat gawan din ho ng paraan yan, maaari, through legislation. Now, gusto ko kung sino ho ba ang pwedeng mag-describe very briefly ng proseso of commitment into a government rehabilitation facility like Bikutan for both voluntary and non-voluntary dependents. Kasi may mga nakausap po ako ng mga kamag-anak na mga drug users, pahirapan daw palagi kapag nag-a-apply for rehabilitation. Voluntary rehabilitation. Pero dalawa nga akong klase yan. Voluntary and involuntary rehabilitation. Ano ho bang proseso dito? Sino ho ba pwedeng sumagot dito? DDB, Secretary Rosa,
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. The policy is that yung mga voluntary surrenderers, they go to to our office, the DDB, or even to the Department of Health. They can be screened. Pang-screening, ma'am, kuhaan lang yun, mga 11 questionnaires, check lang or cross. Then, pag nakita natin the user needs confined rehabilitation, our lawyers apply with the court for the court to issue. Yes.
So, a petition need to be filed before the court. Sino ho ang nagpa-file?
The law states that it should be the lawyers of the Dangerous Drugs Board, but we're coordinating with the Parole and Probation Office for their lawyers to help us in filing the petitions with the court.
So it's the DDB and not the PIDEA? I thought all
DDB.
along it's the PIDEA or the PIDEA lawyers or personnel who files these petitions in court.
We're
It's the
also being
DDB.
assisted by PDEA, ma'am.
Meron mo ba kayang particular unit sa PIDEA na ganun lang ang dapat gawin, yung nagfa-file ng petitions for rehabilitation or for commitment? Meron ho ba?
We don't have that unit, Your
So
Honor.
sino ho mga ginagamit nyo dyan? Yung pagpa-file, yung pagpre-prepare ng mga petitions, kasi kasama nga ho dun sa sumbong yan, na kapag pumupunta sila sa kung anumang ahensya, grabe ang pagtuturo kung saan-saan, tinuturo-turo sila kung saan-saan, hanggang napapagod sila, they have to surrender, and they have to content themselves with going straight or going to a private facility kahit hirap sila sa resources. So, para ho masolusyonan natin.
It is DDB, Your Honor.
Ma'am, we have
Yeah,
3 lawyers at DDB to file petitions to the court for the issuance of the court order.
Lahat ho yan, sila ang nag-handle?
Yes, ma'am, but we also have
Is that
DDP.
on the national scale?
That's why, ma'am, we also have
Tatlo lang
DD
po?
representatives. We are coordinating with the probations board for the lawyers to assist us, especially sa countrysides, to file the petitions with the court.
Because we have to go by the premise na itong mga drug users na ito, itong mga drug dependents na ito, ay pwede pa talagang matulungan. Correct?
Yes,
But
ma'am.
paano po natin sila matutulungan kung sa proseso pa lang hirap na? Aside from, the acute lack of physical facilities.
In fact, we're proposing for the amendment of Republic Act 9165, tanggalin na po yung mga requirement, ma'am, for the court order, special those sa voluntary drug rehabilitations. Kasi dito, ma'am, ang backlog eh. Dito,
Did you propose that already, sir?
We are proposing, ma'am, sa amendment.
Can you do that
Siguro-
immediately so that
Yes,
we can act on it? Kasi nga, ito nga nangyayari, naggrabe ng
We will have
influx.
to incorporate that when we craft the
Thank you.
law on this, Madam.
Thank you. Now, doon naman po tungkol sa yung bill ngayon na itong PRADA that would take over the functions of the DDB and the PIDEA. Of course, I can discuss that with the committee itself. I have certain reservations about it. I need to really go through the nuances of this bill. Ang pinaka-concern ko po kasi yan, mukhang yung bill na yan gives PRADA bureaus supervisory authority over certain departments. So I'm worried about the possible interplay between the functions and the powers of that umbrella office directly under the office of the president with the other agencies. I'm not sure whether the bill intended the PRADA bureaus to be higher than the cabinet level departments. Yun po, although I will raise it with the sponsor of the bill.
You are a member
for
of the
enlightenment.
committee,
Yes.
and we can take it up during the technical working group.
Yes.
Anyway, they share the same concerns, Senator De Lima.
Thank you.
The agencies or the resource persons are present here.
Thank you. Meron din po akong maraming tanong tungkol sa IAS But because of time constraint, I will reserve my questions on Mondays and Tuesdays public inquiry. Anyway, I think ES is also invited aside from the Director General. That's all for the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator De Lima.